3 pilots gone. 11 hospitalized. A fireball so enormous, it lit up the night sky miles beyond the airport perimeter. This is the shocking narrative of UPS Flight 2976, an MD-11 heavy hauler, that suffered a catastrophic failure mere seconds after leaving the tarmac in Louisville, Kentucky. It was meant to be an 8-hour haul across the Pacific to Honolulu. Instead, it became a mile-long trail of horrifying destruction, a fiery, impossible ballet that ended in oblivion. The question isn't just what happened, but why the cockpit crew committed to a maneuver they couldn't possibly finish. They were past the point of no return, hurtling down the runway carrying 34,000 gallons of highly volatile jet fuel. This is the untold story of the final, agonizing moments when the decision was made, and the consequences exposed the ultimate vulnerability of flight. But to understand this split-second horror, you have to first look at the machine itself. 2. The Cursed Bird, the MD-11's dark legacy. This wasn't some modern, sophisticated airliner. The MD-11, manufactured back in 1991, carries a notorious reputation in the aviation world. When it was brand new, it was the shiny object that promised the future, but that promise quickly curdled. Major passenger airlines universally began dumping the aircraft within just a few years of delivery. Why? Because the MD-11 was, simply put, a handful. It was complex, temperamental, and burdened with significant maintenance headaches. Crucially, early versions were known to suffer from stability issues, particularly during high-stress maneuvers like crosswind landings or, most critically, heavy takeoffs. It was a demanding machine, and while engineering tweaks helped, the reputation stuck. The planes that passenger carriers rejected ultimately found a second life with cargo titans like UPS and FedEx, where they were pushed to the absolute maximum of their structural and operational limits. For Flight 2976, that meant flying an aging design at max gross weight, a truly precarious situation. This flight was already carrying the weight of the aircraft's problematic history, but it was the fuel load that turned the potential accident into an inferno. 3. Max gross weight and the critical bomb. The sheer scale of the cargo and the fuel on board that night is almost impossible to comprehend. The MD-11 was fully loaded, preparing for an epic journey. To cover that 8-hour stretch to Hawaii, 2976 needed over 220,000 pounds of jet fuel, translating to roughly 34,000 gallons. That's not just an amount, that is essentially a high-speed liquid explosive moving down the tarmac. To give you scale, the aircraft that impacted the World Trade Center carried less than half that amount. Flight 2976 was arguably carrying 3 times the destructive potential. Imagine that colossal weight combined with the plane being near its absolute structural limit, the heaviest it would ever be.